Hello everyone, thanks for joining me today. I'm Rand, a naturalist here at Baltimore Woods Nature Center in Marcellus, New York. And this week we're taking a close look at some of the things that we can see outside in nature. So I wanted to take the opportunity to take a closer look at one of my favorite life forms that we see anytime we take a walk, really. But sometimes it's easy to just let our attention pass right over it without noticing it. It's the lichen that we can see here. These are growing on wood, but lichens can also grow on the shells of animals, on cloth, plastic, metal, stone like this, or even directly on the soil. Now, lichens are so amazing to me because they are a mutualism, or a team, of different organisms that are so distantly related to each other. It's just incredible that it happened at all. This team typically consists of 3 different members. 1, a cyanobacteria, the photosynthetic part of the team. The other, a non-photosynthetic type of bacteria, including actinobacteria and proteobacteria. And last but not least, the fungal partner. Altogether, these partners make up what's called the lichen's thallus. It is protected by a cortex on the outside. On the inside of that, there is an algal layer conducting photosynthesis. And within that, there's a fungal layer, which provides the structure of the lichen. This layer is made up of hypha, similar to roots for a fungus. Different types of bacteria are found throughout the thallus. So we have the algae, or the cyanobacteria, conducting photosynthesis and making sugar for the lichen. We have the other bacteria, which help to provide stress resistance and produce vitamins and nutrients for the lichen. And we have the fungal hyphae, which give it a home and a place for it all to happen. Now, the identity of the lichens is typically the same as the identity of the fungal partner, because more of these fungi are described and have names to put to the lichen. Now, it is really difficult to identify lichens because they're so small and so complex. If you want to go out looking for them, though, there are some places that you can start. Looking at logs, at rocks, at tree trunks. It's not uncommon to see a situation like this, where a single stick or log will have multiple different types of lichens growing on it. While there are thousands of different species of lichen that grow all over the world, one of the most common found around here, this one, called whitewash lichen, because it's white and it covers over things. Sometimes you might get tricked. This stuff back here looks like it could be lichen, but if you'll notice, it's running down from a wound in the tree, and it's just dried up sap. Many types of lichens are threatened, and given the difficulty in identifying the different types, it's best to leave them where they are. But if you happen to find one that has fallen off, like these here, you might consider grabbing one to take it home and take a closer look at it, with a microscope or a dissecting scope if you happen to have one. Before doing this, though, make sure that you're either on your own property or somewhere where collecting is allowed. Now, I'm taking these to take a closer look at them under a dissecting scope, but don't worry, I'll put them back out here in nature where they belong. Under the scope, I was able to see the cool ridges of its cortex. The other lichens I checked out had their unique topography too. The cortex that protects a lichen is not quite as discerning as the cuticle that protects plants. This makes them excellent biomarkers, meaning scientists can study samples of a lichen from the same area over a period of time to track changes in environmental conditions like air quality, like the amount of lead in the air. Scientists from the National Park Service did this to measure the amount of lead in the atmosphere above Plummer's Island in the Chesapeake Bay over the last 100 years. They saw that as more people drove to the island, there was more lead in the air, and when lead gasoline was phased out in the 1980s, the lead decreased. So lichens are this amazing assemblage of different distantly related species. They can grow all over the place, in hot places, cold places, wet and dry, and they can be used to measure air quality. What's not to like? Thanks so much for taking the time to look more closely at this amazing mutualism with me today. And as always, if you're interested in learning more about the wonderful things happening out in nature, check out our website at baltimorewoods.org. Thanks again, and we'll see you soon.